What's up, Dragon Nation? I'm Rich with Dragon Nation Gaming. Welcome back to Space Engineer Specialized. I don't know. I'm thinking about changing the name of the series because I don't like Specialized. Basically, what we need to do is we're trying to build or trying to show you guys all the equipment that's needed for a tunnel boring machine or my tunnel boring machine. So that way you guys can kind of learn how to build one on your own. So the next thing we need to go over is projectors. Now, there's a couple things we need to keep in mind when it comes to projectors. That's why last episode I did connectors and merge blocks, which are really important for this episode. So let's go ahead and get it started. Alright, so these are projectors. Now, as you can see, they do have different colors. We'll go over the different colors here in a second. So the projector has a little light that goes on all six sides. I forgot it's all six sides. Now, the different colors that a projector has is red, green, and blue. The red one shows that the projector is either off or it has no power. The green one shows that the projector does have power and it is on. The blue is showing that the projector is actually projecting a projection. Trying to say that shit. It's not that simple. So right here we have a projection, and if you notice, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it that well, but the color between this block right here and that block right there, it's just a little bit lighter shade. Now, the reason for that is it's telling me that this projection is connected by blocks to the projection or projector. I'm getting confused and I'm getting messed up. But if I take away one of these blocks, the projector will no longer be connected to the projection, which means I will not be able to build it. That's why this is a little bit brighter. It's saying that I can actually build that block. So let's go ahead and take that away, and as you can see, the block changed color because I can no longer build it. Something we really need to keep in mind when we're trying to do my, what did I call this? I think I just called it the, this could either be a space elevator or a space tether or a tunnel boring machine, depending on how you set it up. Now, what we need on the tunnel boring machine is we need a projection on that grid right there. As you can see, these are two separate grids. Well, it's actually a number of separate grids, but we'll say this is one entity and this whole setup is another entity. Those two entities are connected by merge blocks and connectors. Now, there's a really big reason for that, as we saw back there. What I need is this pillar to get longer and longer as this one moves up. Now, I can't put the projector on this entity right here, because what I need the projection to move up. So it has to be on this entity, right in between the connector and the merge block. So let's back up so you can actually see the two separate entities. So they're both connected by those merge blocks and connectors. Now, another thing you need to keep in mind, like I said, the projector has to be connected to the same grid as the projection. So the next projection I'm going to need up here. So what I got to do is alright, let me see if I can find a better way. I suck at explaining stuff. But what I need, like I said, is I need the projection to move up, so it has to be on this entity. But I can't put the projector back here because that piston and that piston head are considered a separate grid. So what I need to do is make sure that I can connect this entity to that entity and make them the same grid, which we do in merge blocks, which I showed you guys in the last episode. So if I put a projection, another thing I need to go over here in a second. if I put the projector right on that merge block, now this projector that's connected to that merge block is now the same grid as that merge block, which is connected to our pillar, which is what we need to build on. So another couple things you need to keep in mind when it comes to projectors, it's not only the colors, but if you look at the top, you know, notice there's kind of like a little plus sign right here. That is the top of the projector. Now if you look at the side back here, there is nothing. On the side right there, there is nothing. But if you look at the front, this right here is, I call it a minus sign. Basically it's just these two prongs. That is the front of the projector. So one thing you need to keep in mind when you're trying to set this thing up and you're trying to move around a projection. Also, another thing is you can move the projection if we go into the control panel, go to the projector. Alright, so this is what you need for any type of projection. I have it set to keep projection. Now the point of that is at some point when we actually, let me connect these real quick, and I'll get out a welder. Go ahead and go with the tier 3, the elite welder, and I go ahead and build all of these blocks. Come on. Actually, let me do this first. We'll turn off heat projection. So if I keep welding this up, and now that it's completely welded, the projection actually goes away. And if I go ahead and get rid of those blocks, you'll see that there is no longer any projection. Also, the projection that was in the projector is completely gone. It kind of, after you build the object, it just deletes or removes the projection from the projector. That's why this remove button is no longer highlighted. But say we want to build that same thing again, we're kind of stuck because now we have to put the blueprint back in, maybe realign it. So what we got to do is try to find the blueprint again. There it is. Now it should still be in the same spot. Yes, it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the projector, heat projection. Now when we build it, it should stay. Let's go ahead and see. Alright, as you can see, the projector is still blue, which means the projection is still there. But there's also another problem that does come up every once in a while, is if I get rid of these blocks, sometimes the projection does not come back. But it did, so we got lucky on that one. Now, if the projection does not come back, just go ahead and turn the projector on or off and on. Just kind of reboot it and the projection will come back. Alright, if we go into the back into the projector, I need to slow down, man. This is where you get your blueprints. So just go into your blueprints and you'll have a list over on the left hand side of all the blueprints that you do have saved. Another thing you need to keep in mind about projectors is projectors will only project one grid. So if you have a projection that has multiple grids, it will only project the main grid, the one that has the most blocks. So I do have a ship that has multiple grids that we just built recently, and let me see if I can find it. So actually, where are you? There you are. So this is, I forget what I called this damn thing, the Avenger that we built some time ago. If I go ahead and project that, it does have, come on, close, thank you. It does have subgrids. As you can see, they have not projected. Also, the head of the hinges are not projecting either because they're considered a separate grid. This is the main part of the ship, the one with the most blocks, so this is the only thing the projector will project. If I go ahead and spawn in that ship, if I can find it again, you'll see that the ship also, oh yeah, I forgot, this thing dips. It's alright, we'll let it land. And hopefully not blow up. There we go. Alright, so as you can see, this thing does have wings. It also has winglets back here. But if we go to the projection, the wings are not showing up, and neither are the winglets. That's one of the big problems about using a projector with the projection that has multiple grids. But on to the next setup that we're going to have here pretty soon. I'm going to get a video out on this. This is the small ship printer. Well, mine. This I've been working on a little bit, trying to get it to work, and it's still not perfect. Let me go ahead and get rid of these blocks so you guys can see what's going on. So what we have down here are several different projectors. Now, the reason these are important is because I want this thing to be able to... Did it shut those off? Yeah, it did. I want this to be able to print out several different ships. So with every ship that I want to print out, I have to have a separate projector. Now, there's a bunch of other stuff you need to keep in mind, but we'll go through everything else when we get to this this little station. But yeah, one thing about the projectors is stuff keeps changing in Space Engineers. It used to be that it was important to go to a certain location and save the blueprint. Now I don't know how that works. I mean, we tested it out and it should change, but it does not. So I don't know. I have no idea why they did that. But anyways, with projectors, I think I covered everything, maybe. Let's go ahead and go into the projector and make sure. So custom data I found out are for mods. Is this thing not on? Yeah, it is. Alright, let's go ahead and pick a blueprint. We'll pick that one right there. So, projector. What we saw was keep projection. We'll keep the projection. If you build, it will delete the projection. You have to start all over again with placing everything. Then we have the different movements for the projection. You can actually set the offset. So we have the projection right. We're not going to be able to see it. Let me see if I can... Alright, there we go. Now we can see it just a little bit. We go into the projector. We go to horizontal. This should make it... Well, as the ship is facing, it'll go that way. It should. Yep, there we go. So back and forth. And then because of the way the projector is facing, the vertical will be up and down. And of course, let's bring it down so you guys can see it. Then we have the forward, which should be this way, and that way. Go forward and back. Alright, then we have rotation. So we have pitch, yaw, and roll. Pitch, if I remember correctly, is forward. No, left and right. Alright, there we go. Yaw is forward. And then we have roll, which will bring it, well, the ass into the ship as it's facing right now. Should be facing up just like that. There we go. Sometimes that can be quite difficult, especially when you're trying to view it from where you are, an access point, to try to figure out where you need to put the projection. But an easy way, probably the easiest way to not have to mess with it, is getting yourself a remote. I haven't tried this in a really long time. We'll see if this works out. Get yourself a remote and an antenna. Go ahead and place those. Make sure that the remote is facing the same way the projector is. So with the remote, the front of the remote is that little light dot right there. So that's the correct way. It's facing the same way the projector is. So what we can do now is remote access. I think it should be this one. Alright, now we are controlling this grid right here. As you can see, if I try to move my mouse, nothing happens. That's because we're actually in ship controls. Is it not going to let me access? It doesn't let you access anymore. Really? There we go. They changed it. They probably changed this quite some time ago. Remote access. Terminal. Okay, well, let's go into projection. Now that we have the blueprint, we can go ahead and go down, and we can see the ship a little bit better when we're trying to move it. and that could be kind of fun. But anyways, so yeah, a few things I haven't really tried to mess with is remote blocks. I haven't messed with that stuff in quite some time, and it looks like they changed the functionality of it. That's something I'm going to have to experiment with. But yeah, as far as projectors, let's go ahead and double check, make sure I didn't miss anything. Last episode, I did miss something when I was going over merge blocks and connectors. This time, I want to make sure that I don't. Alright, this right here, the scale. Now, the scale on a projector, you cannot change, but it does show up. The reason for that is, let me see if I can find it real quick, is this right here, the console block. If we go ahead and bring out a console block, it kind of works the same as a projector, but this used to be a mod, and it was actually kind of a cool mod. It creates a lot of lag. But if we go ahead and grab a blueprint, we'll grab that auto miner. Is it not going to show? Really? Console. There we go. Huh. Is it not? Where is it? Oh, it's way up there. That's why. Alright, well, the whole point of the scaling is we can go into the console block. We can go ahead and change the size of the ship. There's 100%. With that console block right there. So now it's a 1-to-1 scale ratio. So it shows as big as the other ship. The only thing is you cannot build on this projection. So it is a little bit different from the projectors, but console block's kind of cool. If you set that thing up on a rotor, I think you could probably turn it and make it rotate and make it a really cool display. Yeah, I kind of like that. But yeah, as far as I can tell, I went through everything that has to do with projectors. Probably confused the shit out of everybody. I know I did to myself. But yeah, next time we come into Space Engineer Specialized, I'll probably be going over this blueprint right here. This hopefully will be on the Steam Workshop here pretty soon. Now, there's a couple issues with this design. I've been trying to figure out a solution for some of the problems I've been having, but I haven't quite figured it out yet. So I might just go ahead and put it on the Steam Workshop as is so people can get their hands on it and maybe change it around however they want. I don't know. But yeah, I need to do a video to get that thing on the Steam Workshop. But as far as projectors, I think that's about everything. I hope I didn't forget anything. Somebody will let me know in the comments if I did, which I'm pretty sure I did, so it's not a big deal. Anyways, that's about all the time I have for this episode, so make sure to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.